Closer look this morning.
Hey, good morning. So if you were watching a little bit ago, we were talking about hurricane season and how when a hurricane comes in, the Port Operations Department is in charge of moving all of these ships out to a safer space. And so you can imagine that's a lot of work, but all the rest of the year, they're also moving ships in and out of here at Naval Station Norfolk. So we're going to turn it back over to Petty Officer First Class Ivan Godinez, and we're going to talk about the ship behind you, the Truman. It just came back from deployment. Let's go over what you had to do to get it in here, because this is maybe one of your most recent big jobs, and this was a big job.
It was a great job. So the coordination with the Truman, when they came in, luckily, unfortunately, it was about 40-knot winds coming from all sorts of directions, so the carrier was impacted by that. But for me, my dock masters, what we had to do, we coordinate with the pilot who coordinates with the tugs, ensuring that the ship moves safely and adequately right up to mark. Once the ship was on mark, the ship then had put out its mooring lines. And once the ship was moored on mark, it had landed the brows and stands, the pier assets that they need for the sailors to get on and off the ship. And then after that, hotel services, pier utilities, sewage, water, shore power for electricity, all that was delivered. So although we met challenging conditions, we were still able to dock it safely and got all 5,000 plus crew members off the ship as quickly as possible and safely as possible.
And what you just said, docking it safely without damage, I mean, that's your job. And that's a lot of pressure, especially when you have 50-mile-an-hour winds pushing a ship, all across the water. I can't even imagine that.
It is. But my dock masters, I have 52 people under my charge, and we are responsible for 4.1 miles of waterfront. So it comes with a tremendous responsibility, but we take great pleasure in ensuring that everything is done safely.
And I know the initial reason we were going to be out here at this location is because the Wasp was here, but it got moved out. That's another ship you had to move out of here recently too, right?
Yes,
How did that go?
This week, it was a smooth transition. They came in for 2 days, and then they left. Smooth transition. Again, coordination with the pilots and the tugs. Tugs pushing the ship against the pier, lines removed from the pier. The ship taking its ramp off of the pier. They don't use pier brows and stands. They use a ramp on their side port in order to get on and off the ship. Everything was smooth transition.
Okay, and I do want to mention, because there are some days where obviously ships aren't moving in and out of here. So what are you doing today, for example? If you're not moving a ship, how do you stay busy?
So we do training, weekly training, to ensure that my personnel are adequately trained and professional in their capabilities, able to execute the movements of these 61 ships home ported at Naval Station Norfolk. On a slower day where we have less moves, we'll conduct the training. Maybe we'll go out to the piers and remove things that don't need to be on the piers in preparation for hurricane season. It is hurricane season right now. Yeah. So the more that we're prepared when a hurricane actually comes through, the more we'll be ready in order to get the ships out and conduct our mission.
Okay. Billions of dollars of equipment, ships, all of it that you're working with to make sure they get in and out safely. That is a stressful, very important job here at Naval Station Norfolk. Our Navy Unit of the Month, the Port Ops Department. Really excited to have you here this morning with me. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. And thank you for all you do for your service and everything. Really appreciate it, Ivan. We'll send it back to you live from Naval Station Norfolk.